Bronze League rank battles are at Tier 8 this season, so I'm bringing out Loyang as my destroyer of choice. She is a really good ship for rank battles. I sometimes use Cossack, and I sometimes use Kid. I have all of them on this account, but I like Loyang. Besides, I'm doing naval battles, and I believe I need 1150 base XP in order to get a double star. And for some reason, we ended up on Sea of Fortune, which I've had this 4 matches in a row. 1, 2, lost 1. Hopefully we win this one. Now, we do have submarines on each side and one other destroyer, the Kagero, on the other side. Then we're both running with the Japanese cruisers. We have a Mogami, the other team has a Tone. If I remember right, the Tone gets those airplanes that can shoot rockets, but I don't know how effective they are. And then we have 3 battleships. So that rounds us off for a 6 versus 6 match here. Now, on this map, I prefer to go to the backside of the Alpha Cap, work what I can from there, and then get into Bravo Cap later. My hydro is 5.5 kilometers, so that means I can cover pretty much all of Alpha and Bravo from my position right at the backside of this cap. So if there's anybody there, they're going to be in trouble. My RPF shows something is over in that direction. Then as I get around this point, I'll be vulnerable to possible torpedoes that might have been launched through this gap, especially if they're coming from the submarine. So, running that hydro. And my hydro should be picking somebody up. Yep, there it is. Okay, the submarine. All right, well, he's gone under. Didn't do much damage to him, but hopefully those depth charges that my other ships are launching will drop right on him. Yeah, I see some oil out there. Okay, I might be able to drop some of my depth charges on him, but I don't get the air launched. I have to be positioned right over him. And taking a guess. Oh, I guessed wrong. He's way over there, but now they see where he is. So keep bombing him. Oops, I'm in somebody's hydro. That has to be Bismarck. And that's not healthy for me, because that means if Aranga can be shooting at me and I'm within range. Oh good, they got the sub. Okay, got outside Bismarck's hydro range, but I got him in hydro. He's at 5K, I assume, on his hydro. Yep, there we are, just right on the edge of it. Okay, no danger from the torps. Swerving out away from the hydro. Now I can smoke up. If I can, I'll swing around and try to cover Mogami, but that's going to be tricky to do. And still keep myself covered up if Bismarck pushes out. And looks like Mogami laid himself out there sideways so that he could launch his torps. I'm holding on to mine. If Bismarck decides he wants to pull up, then I'll launch him.
Smoke screen set.
Alright, Mogami took shots and launched his torps. Fortunately, when he took those shots, he's still spotted even if he's in smoke. It's too close. Alright, let's see. What is Biz trying to do? Was backing up, but now he is changing directions or just stopping. Okay, he's moving forward. Tell with the torpedo indicator. He probably thinks Megami's torps have already gone by and that he's safe. Well, I don't know if he realizes that my torps would be coming through there too. Alright, that'll take care of the Bismarck. Now, Kagero is back behind us. Oh, good. Tone's down. Salmon got it. RCNW4 clan. Royal Canadian Navy of the Western branch, I'm assuming. Or the Royal Canadians Northwest. I'm not sure which that is. Anyway, I am very healthy still. Took a little damage to my steering, but they just got lucky. He was shooting and I happened to be in the wrong place. Taking a few preemptive shots at Kagero. Keep him away from our salmon is what I'm hoping. Okay, well, I have a couple minutes on my hydro. My smoke is ready. And I am in the cap. There's Kagero. He swerved away.
Smoke generator started.
I am missing. There we go. I lit a fire on him, which he put out right away. Alright, first job, take the cap. Second job, I'll hunt down the DD. Looks like he's moving back toward the salmon. He's moving away from me. Alright, we took the cap.
Set.
Now the Nebraska is out here somewhere, but we haven't seen anything of that one. I'm wondering if he's one of those hybrid players that thinks, oh, here he is, Kagero. Thinks he's an aircraft carrier, not a battleship. Okay. Launched my torps. He'll be launching his, but I have my hydro going for 30 seconds. Just don't ground out on this island. A lot of DDs will do that when they're in the middle of a knife fight. And he took my torps. Okay.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
Oh, but he torped our Megami. Okay, that's why he didn't have any torps coming at me. I never even saw him launch those. Alright, well, now I'm thinking that the Iparanga is going to try to get into Alpha Cap. He doesn't have a choice, but he's got the North Carolina right in front of him when he comes into that cap. And one cap isn't going to cut it for them. They are so far behind. We're over 800 points. They have 262, and they're stuck there. Alright, I am going to go right on in there. I have smoke ready in 30 seconds. Almost a minute before my hydro is ready. Okay, here we go. Diving right in. Took a little long loopy route there. Some of it so that if I could locate the Iparanga, I was trying to.
I need intelligence
All right.
data.
MC wants intelligence data. I will have some for him shortly. I'll bet you he sees the Iparanga before I do, though. All right, just telling North Carolina where the RPF is showing the Iparanga is sitting. And there he is. Okay. All right. Well, I hope they don't ram. Be a waste of a good North Carolina. All right. Send those torps. Iparanga might be able to get around that island, but if he hits there, he'll be stuck. My torps are fast enough and got him. Okay. Woohoo. Blew him out of the water. Okay. GG. Okay, well, yes. Loyang can definitely do that kind of work. So we ended the battle with only 46,000 of damage, but it was key damage. And we did that mostly with the torpedoes, although our shells did hit something, and I did do some damage with 29 out of the 46. But those torpedoes caused 3 floods, and they're what sank those other ships. I did set a fire, got 3 caps, and got a spotted ribbon, which is a DD's main job, or one of them. But in this case, I didn't do as much spotting as I normally would. And took top spot on the leaderboard with 1,927 base XP. Good deal, because I was working on my naval battles, and that got me a double star. I did pick up a little bit of potential damage, a little over 300,000. And pulled in 369,000 in credits, 2,544 free XP, and 8,427 Elite Commander XP, because Loyang does have a 21-point captain. Zhang Gang, I think you could say it that way. With those 21 points, I've loaded him up with preventative maintenance, incoming fire alerts, so I know when somebody's shooting at me. If they are aiming at me while I'm like sitting in smoke, maybe I don't get something, I don't know, but it helps me dodge. Consumable Specialist gets back my hydro and my smokes a little quicker. Demolition Expert helps to light those fires, which Loyang guns are actually very difficult to use. They're very loopy shells, and I don't have a great firing rate. It's, let's see, 3.3 seconds. Well, that's not bad, but they don't feel like 3.3 seconds. It feels longer. And I have Last Stand, because Loyang does get hit, takes damage, and this will keep me clunking along. Superintendent gives me extra smoke and extra hydro. Survivability Expert gives me extra HP, which I definitely need the extra health. And Radio Locate helps me know where the closest ship is. And Concealment Expert gets my concealment down to 5.8, which allows me to contend with just about everybody except Cossack. And with Cossack, once he's got me spotted, I can get into my smoke, and at least I can run my hydro. Which is Loyang's claim to fame. Now, you could choose, if you were nuts, engine booster defensive AA fire, but the hydro is what makes her so dangerous. She can sit there in her smoke with 5.5K 5.5K hydro that runs forever and ever, it seems like, and runs for 145 seconds, and then the cooldown time is pretty quick. So, and that smoke lasts a very long time too. It is just about the same as the American smoke. I get 124 seconds, so a couple minutes on that. About matches my hydro. Now, I get two different types of torpedoes that I can choose. I can either choose the longer range torpedoes, which are the 9.2 kilometer torpedoes, gives me a little less, a little more range, or quite a bit more range, but less damage and definitely less speed. So at 55 knots, they're quite slow, easy to dodge. But then when I put these on, which is what I decided to run for rank battles, now I am getting only 6.7K on my range, so that's a narrow window when my detect is at 5.8. But by the time they know I'm there, the torpedoes are already halfway there because they're going 68 knots, considerably faster. And the damage output at 16.6 is enough that if a couple of them land on a cruiser, it's going to put the cruiser down. Medium health battleship can take one of those down. So that is what I'm choosing for these up close and personal ranked battles. And then I do run main armaments mod 1 because there isn't much else to choose from there. I spent some coal and improved my hydro acoustic search because I strongly believe in playing to the strengths of your ship. And the strength of Loyang is having that good hydro. And then Aiming Systems Mod 1 tries to help me get shells on target, but it's not great. Now, I run Propulsion Mod 1 because when I do see torpedoes coming at me, sometimes that's just what I need to zip out of the way. So Propulsion Mod 1 is more useful to me than the steering gears. She has pretty good turning radius. She's pretty light on her feet. And then Concealment Systems Mod 1 works with the captain's skill to bring my concealment down to where it needs to be. Then we'll add a few flags here that really help out. So the Charlie Kilos give me extra HP. And then I run India Yankees on my destroyers because sometimes I'll be getting conked out. I am just getting into my smoke, and then I'll run my damage control party, and then all of a sudden somebody blind fires me and I'm lit on fire. So that helps put it out. And then I improve my chances of causing fires and floods with the Victor Limas. I go ahead and run the November Echo 77s because we have a lot of different ships out there that can be throwing aircraft at us, and ranked battles does allow for aircraft carriers. We had the Nebraska in that battle, which I didn't even notice his planes, but they having AA, if I need it, might be enough to keep me alive that little bit extra. And then Sierra Mikes make me faster, which, because I'm not using speed boost, I can use that, but I do get pretty good speed at just short of 40 knots, so that's not too bad. And then we run the X-Ray Papa Una 1 so that I get the extra time running my smoke so I can spread it out a little bit better. And then I have Sierra Bravos, so that adds to my captain's skills and my modules to improve my hydroacoustic action time and brings it back more quickly. So all of that combines to make Loyang a formidable ship for ranked battles. I use her a lot when I do random battles too, but there's a lot more radar that I run into in random battles, and that can be really tough, especially when you're having to up tier to the tier 10s on occasion, which happens to me, it seems like every other or every third battle. So, Loyang, uh, she's a really good little ship. I'm not positive, but I would say she's probably built on the Fletcher class. That looks a lot like those, with her two guns up forward, one barrel, and two guns back aft, one barrel each. And then amidships, she gets these two torpedo launchers that can launch to either side with a total of 10 torpedoes that are headed out, and they do good work a lot of times. That's my best damage output. Okay, so yep, that was a good one. So I am going to wish you a good evening, and I hope to see you in battle.